UFC 323, the last pay-per-view ever, you guys. The last pay-per-view just took place. Marab versus Yan 2. I'm going to start with the early prelims, end with the main event, give you all my recap of the entire card. We got a lot to talk about. I got a lot of energy right now. The main event just woke me up. But we're going to go right ahead to the early prelim opener. We had Muhammad Naimov versus Mayron Santos. I started off the card with an L. We okay. I thought Muhammad Naimov was going to take advantage of Mayron Santos's low output, low activity. But no, Mayron Santos was... The fight started off in round one. Not much was going on. They were feeling each other out for a while. Little flicky pop shots at range. But Mayron Santos, it was clear that Muhammad Naimov was not fearful, but he was cautious of Mayron Santos's power because he did not want to step all the way in range, and he did not want to get hit by Mayron Santos because the first punch, the first real punch, was a right hand that Mayron Santos landed, and it wobbled Muhammad Naimov, and that was really all that happened in the first round. Second round was similar. Not much going on in the second round whatsoever. And third round comes around. Actually, the second round, Naimov's landing, Santos is landing a little more, but it's still low output. Naimov's trying to shoot for takedowns, and they're all getting stuffed. They aren't great attempts. Santos is landing more and more shots, but Naimov is like at the end of them, so he's not getting the brunt of it. Round three comes out. First 15 seconds, straight 1-2. Hard 1-2 for Mayron Santos. Puts down Muhammad Naimov. A couple ground and pound shots. Fight's over. Good showing for Mayron Santos. I just wish he would do more. For some reason, I thought he fought at Shooter Box, but he's Extreme Couture guy. Shooter Box would suit him because he needs to up his output, man. I'm tired of seeing him pop shot like he's this super pop, like he's fucking Alex Pereira. Even Alex Pereira doesn't fight like that. I need Mayron Santos to give me a little more output, especially at featherweight. I need him to be on weight next time for his fight, but it was a good showing. Moving on, though. Mansour Abdul Malik versus Antonio Tricoli. This card started off great. Antonio Tricoli, the fight started off. They are at range with each other. Mansour Abdul Malik immediately throws like a huge haymaker. It misses, and then he just bull rushes Antonio Tricoli. Tricoli, man, he's so like, I was saying this before the fight started. He's so weak. Like, look at his build. He's like 6'5", 185 pounds. He could dead ass fight at welterweight if he was on top of his shit, because he got an immediate whizzer. He's a BJJ guy. He got an immediate whizzer on Mansour Abdul Malik when he shot the takedown, and he kind of thrusted him over, but he was too weak to completely go with it, to end up in a real 50-50 position to, push on the head and get away from Mansour Abdul Malik. So Mansour Abdul Malik just bull rushes him over, ends up on top, and then, and it was just like, bro, look at his build. He's 6'5", 185 pounds. He looks like he weighs 195 pounds, and he cuts to 185. Genuinely what he looks like. He looks like the softest, lankiest person you know. Mansour Abdul Malik, they scramble for a little bit. They stand up, and Mansour Abdul Malik just locks in a standing guillotine with no real pushback or anything, and Tricoli taps. I don't know how he's in the UFC. Thank you for stepping up against Charles Bullitt a couple months ago. That was last year, last June. Thanks for that, I guess. I don't know how he's in the UFC. It was his birthday, too. He needs to just go play poker or cut to welterweight, man. You got a fucking fupa out here cutting to 185 pounds. Lose a little bit more body fat. Walk around at a lower weight than 195 or 192, whatever you walk around at. Make welterweight. You'd be the tallest welterweight ever, but good win for Mansour Abdul Malik. I know the comparison is a little off. I'm black, I can say this. Him and Ateba Gutierrez are on the same path, and when I say that, I mean two buff black dudes that are powerful as fuck and are supposed to be the next big thing to undefeated fighters in the middleweight division, stop matching them up against bums, against fucking bums. Put Mansour Abdul Malik against like Cody Brundage or something, or some shit like that. Not Cody Brundage. What the fuck? Dawkins, not Cody Brundage. Kyle Dawkins. Put him up against somebody that's good, because these fucking bums that these people are fighting, man, it's pissing me off. I don't know why the UFC is doing this, but moving on though. Ivo Aslan versus Ivo Baranuski. This might be one of the greatest rounds in the history of the sport. I'm not exaggerating. Ivo versus Ivo starts out, it's like a fucking bar fight, okay? They are, as soon as the fight starts, Ivo Aslan is on Ivo, and he's putting him on the back foot. Ivo lands the first punch that stuns and wobbles Ivo Baranuski. It's like a tight right hook. Ivo's all wobbled and shit, and then all of a sudden they're in the pocket just slugging it, hooks after hooks after hooks. There's nothing else being thrown but hooks. Then all of a sudden, boom! Ivo Baranuski rocks Ivo Aslan. Oh, he takes a knee, sits down, pops back up. They're swinging in the pocket. Boom! Ivo Aslan rocks Ivo Baranuski. They're literally in the pocket swinging for... This fight lasted a minute and 30 seconds, a minute 29. From the 20-second mark, they are literally like phone booth swinging at each other, taking turns, rocking each other over and over. I wonder how many knockdowns they got this fight. 2 knockdowns in one, and it was like 4 stuns apiece, 4 wobbles apiece. They're just in a phone booth, hooking, and the finishing sequence, crowd's going crazy, commentary's going crazy, everybody watching the fight's going crazy. In the finishing sequence, Ivo hurts Ivo Aslan, and then they're still swinging at each other. Literally, just imagine people throwing hooks and like weaving, throwing hooks, weaving. In the finishing sequence, Ivo throws a tight hook, a tight right hook. No, a tight left hook right on the chin of Ivo Aslan. And while Ivo Aslan throws his own right hook, but it's a little more loose, so it goes right like this over Ivo Aslan or over Ivo Baranuski, right past his face, and drops him a couple punches, and Ivo Aslan's stiff, and then the following punch just like wakes him up. But good finish to the fight, probably the best one-round fight we've ever seen, or best like round fight that we've ever seen. It's like the what are the fucking guys? Black dude, like Congo or some shit, Kango, one of the two. You know what I'm talking about. If you know, you know. Back in the day, guys robbing each other, finishing each other, and then they wake back up, ref didn't stop it, finishing each other, white dude, black dude. You know what I'm talking about. Great fight between these two. Easily gonna get win bonus. It's hard to say who's gonna get the win bonus. I'll do that at the end though. Remind me. Moving on though, Edson Barboza versus Jalen Turner. Another quick KO for Jalen Turner. Fight starts off. First of all, I gotta say, man, Edson Barboza needs to retire. He's in great shape. He's got great genetics. He's 39 years old in peak form, it looks like. But he needs to retire, man. He's tough, but he can't take shots like he used to. He can't throw and like commit like he used to. Jalen Turner is just kicking his body. He's walking forward with a nice guard. His guards are nice and tight. And he's landing good, clean, straight shots down the pipe on Edson Barboza. He landed like a good check hook. He's landing a couple glancing shots, but they're really just like catching the attention of Jalen Turner. They really aren't landing super flush outside of one hook that landed. Edson Barboza is not landing a ton. I mean, he only landed 10 total strikes. And then Jalen Turner wobbles him. He cuts Edson with an elbow, they're in the clinch or they're like breaking, and he elbows the side of Edson Barboza's head and there's like a big cut, and then there's separation. They're at range, and then a good 2, I believe. I think it was just a straight, a right straight that wobbles Barboza, and then that's just basically the end of the fight. Barboza's trying to stick with it. He's trying to tough it out. He's just eating shots on the chin. The refs looks like he's about to stop it. No, they go across the octagon. Jalen Turner's still punching Edson Barboza, and then he just ends up dropping him and finishing him. Great return for Jalen Turner. I knew he was gonna. I mean, he was a minus 335 favorite or some shit for a reason. He was going to beat old man Barboza. It was worse than this when the fight closed. He was like a minus 330 or something. But Barboza needs to retire, man. He needs to retire. He's taking too much damage. He's not the same as he used to be. He needs to retire. Great win in his return for Jalen Turner, though. Moving on. Excuse me. The 1-2 merchant himself, Marvin Vettori, taking on Bruno Ferreira. What can I say? I thought this fight was going to be an early KO for Bruno Ferreira, but no, it wasn't. It was a 29-28 decision. Not much really happened. It was a decent scrap. Marvin Vettori cannot throw anything but a 1-2, and that's about it. Marvin Vettori's throwing 1-2. Bruno Ferreira is like landing shots on Marvin Vettori. I can say every time that Bruno Ferreira would switch to southpaw or to orthodox, or no, he would switch to southpaw, Marvin Vettori was chopping low. It was clearly bothering Bruno Ferreira's legs because he wasn't in southpaw as much as he would have liked to be. He can fight from both stances, but Marvin Vettori was eating his legs up with rear kicks. Some of his kicks looked so amateurish, though. He wasn't finishing them, or he wasn't getting all the way through. It's like he wasn't turning his hip through and his leg through, like they just teach you on, in basic kickboxing classes. But yeah, man, it's just I don't know what Marvin Vettori's here for, bro. He's got chin of hell, but like his fights are so uninteresting, and the fact that this is one of Israel Adesanya's title defenses is crazy as fuck. He's never really been good at all. Bruno Ferreira, he's got chin of hell, like I said, though. Bruno Ferreira was landing a bunch of crazy shots on his chin, and I thought, damn, how is he not sleeping? There's not much to say about it, though. It was a sloppy, it wasn't a slugfest, but it was a sloppy. It was kind of a sloppy fight to watch, honestly. I didn't enjoy it. I know other people did. I just did not enjoy this fight. Bruno Ferreira wins 29-28. Don't really want to give this one too much of my energy. It was not a good fight. Speaking of a fight I don't want to give too much of my energy for, Nazim Sadikov versus Fares Ziam. Now, I want to play this for y'all, okay? I want to play this for y'all get on my dick. If I can find it. Hold on. How do I get to my drafts? Listen, hold on.
Before the cars start, I just want to change my pick for Fares Ziam versus Nazim Sadikov. I'm going with Fares Ziam.
See, I was about to post this. I literally forgot to post it. I was driving. I'm like, I'm going to post this afterwards. I fucking forgot. I was like, I'm going to post this when I park so I can caption it and shit. I fucking forgot. I switched to Fares Ziam to beat Nazim Sadikov. The fight starts off and it's a fucking nothing burger. They're in the clinch over and under, switching positions and shit. Nazim Sadikov hadn't landed a single shot. He's not good. He's not good at range, and he couldn't get to Fares Ziam. So Fares Ziam was just flicking shots at range, and then the entirety of the first round was spent over unders in the clinch. A takedown happened with a body triangle in that round, I believe. But there wasn't much going on. Like, 3 strikes is generous. I don't know if he landed 3 strikes. I know he didn't land any significant strikes at all in this first round. Very weird showing for Nazim Sadikov. Second round, a lot more damage is happening for Fares Ziam. I'm trying to fucking picture this. It was boring as fuck. He's landing at range, takedown, body triangle on the back. Or no, that was the first round. Takedown happens, landing shots on top. And then, that was this dumb shit, man. Fucking Jason Herzog. That was this. Fuck. I got the main event in my head, so I'm not really recalling this as I should be, because this is like 2 minutes after the main event just happened. The finishing sequence, Nazim Sadikov had been taken down. He was landing. Shots were being landed on top from Fares Ziam. As he's getting up, Fares Ziam hits Nazim Sadikov with a nice, just crisp elbow as Nazim is standing up, sinks him to the ground. Another elbow hits. It kind of hits the back of the head because it looked like Ziam was aiming for the ear or behind the ear, and Nazim like turned his head so it hit straight to the back of the head, and then he got dropped. Follow-up shots happened, but then the round ends. The round is over. Jason Herzog did not stop the fight at that point. Rightfully so. It wasn't like, oh my gosh, he was getting bruised and battered. He had an elbow land, another elbow, and about 4 or 5 ground and pound shots while Nazim was making his way up. And the buzzer sounds, Jason Herzog gets Ziam off of him. Nazim Sadikov, while he was already trying to stand up the first time, he stands up and he wobbles one time. And Jason Herzog stops the fucking fight. Dumbest thing I've ever fucking seen. Not dumbest thing ever, but one of the dumbest rulings I've ever fucking seen. You give someone the opportunity to get back into the fight. I don't know why you wouldn't. They're so wishy-washy, flippy-floppy with how they do that shit. It's so dumb. That's literally like if Israel Adesanya wobbled Alex in their first fight in the UFC. He wobbled Alex at the end of the round, and then he fucking get one. He said boom, 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 wobbled him, and then followed up with a left hook, and Alex is like all wobbly and shit, and Mark Goddard stops the fight there. That's literally like that moment. Like, no, you don't stop the fight because after you call off the round, the fighter's wobbled. You give them time to compose themselves and get back to the stool. If he can't make it back to the stool in 5 seconds or so, fine. But it's literally as soon as Sadikov stood up, he did a little dance, and then the fight's over. Dumb as fuck. Jason Herzog's a dumb bitch. I don't know why he's still a ref. I don't know why Mark Smith is still a ref. They're dumb as fuck. Moving on. Good win for Ziam. He'll do good outside the top 7 of lightweight. Speaking of Mark Smith, I'm not gonna give this fight my energy. Click off if you want to hear Macy Barber versus Karine Silva. 29-28. The only thing memorable about this fight is how Karine Silva was up kicking Macy Barber when Macy Barber was like also a downed opponent, and Mark Smith didn't say anything about the first one, and then the second one was more egregious. It was a full-fledged kick on the chin, and that wobbled Macy Barber. Mark Smith is like, stop, time, and then Macy Barber gets up and she's like, what the fuck, and then does a little wobble, goes back to her corner, and he's like, the kick glanced you. Dumb bitch. Mark Smith is a dumb fucking retard, okay? Moving on. Terrence McKinney versus Chris Duncan. I've been wanting to talk about this motherfucker right here. Now, Terrence McKinney's been flapping at the gums for months on Twitter to people about this fight, about how he was going to win this fight. I got my Peloton hat on. Cheap ass nigga. Terrence McKinney been talking crazy on Twitter for months about this fight. Since this fight got booked, he's been talking crazy. Fight starts out, Terrence McKinney is way too fast for Chris Duncan. Way too fast for Chris Duncan. He's walking him down, landing at will. 1-1-2, 3 comes, 2-3-3. He's wobbling Chris Duncan, has him flustered against the cage. He's fumbled the finish. He's punching Chris Duncan basically with no resistance, and he wobbled Chris Duncan. Basically should have gotten a finish, and he just fucked it up. He was like, he had Chris Duncan wobbled. Duncan would land a punch like in a crazy sequence. He would land like an overhand that like stopped McKinney in his tracks for a second. But then it was so clear that Duncan was still off balance that he should have been able to just get back on it and finish him. So he would separate and then get back on him, wobble him again. But then Chris Duncan like landed good shots in return, wobbled McKinney. McKinney basically gave up after that. He got hit with one good shot and gave up. No, genuinely what happened. He got hit with a good return shot. Then he was wobbled and he gave up. He went against the cage. Duncan landing a bunch of rabbit punches on him. He can't really knock him down. He needs to separate. He's doing that thing where fighters overswing themselves instead of separating and picking good shots to knock your opponent down. McKinney gets up to his feet, sinks down to the floor again, and he's just eating like little rabbit punches to the side of the head. And then eventually the Darce or the Anaconda, it was the Anaconda, it just finds itself there for Chris Duncan. And as soon as he latches it up, 2 seconds later, McKinney taps. He literally quit. He's a bum. But Chris Duncan should get a top 15 opponent at this point. If Ignacio Bahamondes he's coming off of a loss, and I think he still might be 15. So he should get Ignacio Bahamondes. Or Manuel Torres should defend his number 14 spot that he has now when we talk about the next fight before the main card. Grant Dawson versus Manuel Torres. Now, I picked Grant Dawson. Excuse me. Fuck. It's almost 1 o'clock. Give me some slack. I picked Grant Dawson to win. I thought this was going to be a boring Grant Dawson wet blanket fest. But little did you fucking know, my nigga. Grant Dawson wanted to show his best mom cardio kickboxing impression. He was coming out there throwing the worst overhands I've ever seen in my life. He was like completely squared up when he was throwing low kicks. He was throwing horrible overhands. And I literally said, oh, well, I'm glad my pick is wrong. I said that out loud. As soon as I saw the first overhand that he threw, I said, I am glad my pick is wrong. Because that's all the fight was. They weren't really doing much. Grant Dawson was picking his shot, or Manuel Torres was picking his shots at range, but Grant Dawson was trying to walk him down and throw horrible shots out of range or just whiffing completely. And then they get in their finishing sequence, and Manuel Torres, a 1-2 hits the guard or just completely whiffs. And then while they're next to each other and Grant Dawson is kind of covered up, boom, uppercut, sinks Grant Dawson to the floor. He's basically out cold there, and then follow-up shots ends the fight. There's nothing else to talk about. That was really basically the entire fight. Grant Dawson, I'm so glad he's out of the rankings. He sucks dick at fighting. He does. Moving on, though, to the main card. Jan Blachowicz, legendary Polish power, versus Bogdan Guskov. I picked Bogdan Guskov by early KO. He did not get that. We got a majority draw here, folks. Round 1, Jan Blachowicz is landing. Look, man, Bogdan Guskov, it fucking pained me to watch that first round because he was doing the thing where he tries to pick his shots and he tries to start off a little slow. But he didn't need to do that against Jan Blachowicz. Jan Blachowicz looked kind of slow to me. I don't know if it was anybody else. He looked slow. The first round, they're both popping each other, but Jan is on the front foot, landing good 1-1-2 or like slow jabs. He's like, I described it as he's pawing at his face. He was landing jabs that were like pawing at Bogdan Guskov's face instead of like punching. It was like, I don't know how to describe it. It was weird jabs. They were just like, Jan would just throw jabs and then he'll follow up with a 2 after he'll throw the jab 10 seconds later. He was landing good low kicks, good rear low kicks. That was good for him. That was money for him in the first round and for the fight in general. Guskov, I guess he landed a couple good right hands, but that's really all. Round 2, they're tit for tat on the feet, and Bogdan lands a good. He feints the 1-2 right down the pipe as Blahovich's guard is like away from him. Sinks Blachowicz to the ground. Vicious ground and pound, like 12-6 elbows. Literally, that happened probably in the 4-minute mark of the first round or like the 3:30 mark, and the entire rest of the round was spent 12-6 elbows through the guard, punches to the face. There was like a fake knee bar attempt for Jan Blachowicz, so much so that Bogdan Guskov literally stood there and like looked at him, and he was like, Guskov was punching Jan in the face, and Jan was scrambling for a leg, and he ended up like getting the leg in like what would be a knee bar, but it was not in. It like couldn't hurt Guskov at all. So Guskov literally said, and then laughed, and then just like moved Jan's legs and then got back in the same position where the round basically ended of him landing punches on top. How many punches did he land on top? 50 strikes, basically. 32 ground and pound shots. Why does he have a knockdown in round 2? He did not get a knockdown, by the way. Jan did not. But Guskov is landing shots through the guard. He sliced Jan Blachowicz open. Clear 10-8 round. If Hamza Chimaev, Kamaru Usman, round 1 is a 10-8, that's a 10-8 round. Round 3 is Jan Blachowicz. No, Bogdan starts out really good, actually. He's landing great 2-3s. He's like letting the 2 go a little more, but then he just completely gave out after the first minute. He was just basically a punching bag for Jan Blachowicz. He has a horrible gas tank, Guskov does. I don't know how he was in round 2 at the start. He was doing good with his blitzes. He was clearly faster than Jan Blachowicz, and when he blitzed, it was good for him. But he didn't do that often, so it was a draw. Jan rounds 1 and 3, and round 2 was a 10-8 for Bogdan Guskov, majority draw. Right decision. I thought that immediately when the fight ended. I was like, oh, this is a draw. At least Jan didn't lose. I don't know what's next for Jan Blachowicz. He probably takes a little break. Jamal Hill's looking to come back early to mid next year, so maybe they do that. They've never fought. I don't think you give him Yuri, or you give him Azam Mirzakhanov. I like Jamal Hill because it's an approachable fight for both. They can be like the opening. They can be like how this fight was, like the opening fight on the main card or the second fight on the main card type ordeal. But I think it's Jamal Hill, or you can feed him to Azmat Mirzakhanov, who will KO Jan Blachowicz, who looked slow. If he would have lost, I'm sure he would have retired if he would have lost by KO, which I thought he was going to do when he got dropped. But Bogdan couldn't finish it off. Decent fight. Nothing to rattle home to your mom about. Henry Cejudo versus Peyton Talbot. Now, excuse me, I don't really care about picks like that. I think when I pick, I think that shit's going to happen. But I'm not losing sleep over picks. I'm not mad about picks. I'm not like, fuck, I made the wrong pick in my video. This fight was like, damn, I picked Henry Cejudo to win this fight. Henry Cejudo, and in my analysis, there was no reason for me to pick Henry Cejudo outside of I don't think Peyton Talbot is that good, and I think Henry is a ranked fighter, and I don't think Peyton Talbot is. But no, Henry Cejudo came out fast. He threw 3 low kicks, 3 good hard rear low kicks to start off the fight, and then Peyton Talbot was just piecing him up with the hands. He was doing whatever he wanted with the hands. Henry was doing the same head fakes. He was doing the same feints to get in range because he's 5'4" and Peyton Talbot's 5'10". He was doing the same feints to get in range. It was just a bad showing for Henry Cejudo. It was a crazy scrap. I mean, they're going to win fight of the night. But the entirety of the fight was Henry trying to get to Peyton Talbot, and Peyton Talbot just piecing up Henry Cejudo. He took Henry Cejudo down twice in round 1. One was from an inside trip. The other one was his own just takedown that he shot. He was landing good knees up the middle. The clinch was good for Peyton Talbot. They finished off the fight in like a Max Holloway, Justin Gaethje fucking were point down, and he landed a crazy knee. I don't know how Henry didn't die off of some of the shots that landed, but he was a sitting duck for Peyton Talbot, who he looked decent, but it's against Henry Cejudo, so I don't know how much I care about it, you know? He's going to get number 10 now. And people are talking about Corey Sandhagen matchups. And I don't think Peyton Talbot's that good, man. I don't. And they're just trying to push him because he's that, he's that. They're trying to push him because of that. But I don't think he's that good. It was a good showing for him, but Henry Cejudo's done. He retired, if you didn't fucking know that. I don't have anything else to say about this fight. It was a good scrap, but Henry's entries, Henry sucks now. And Peyton Talbot did his job. This doesn't change my perspective on either fighter or for Peyton Talbot because Henry's gone. Moving on. I know other people have more to talk about for that fight, but it was just like, bro, Henry, you're better than him, and he has so many holes in his game that you should be able to exploit, but you're not that fighter anymore. You're not that fighter anymore. Idiot shouldn't have retired in his prime for 3 years. Moving on, though. Man, another fight that pissed me off because this dumb motherfucker, Mark Smith. Stupid bitch. Brandon Moreno versus Tatsuro Taira. Tatsuro Taira pulls it off. Now, let me tell you about round one. Okay? Boom. They're feigning at range. They are feigning at range. They're feigning out of range. I'm cooking. Round one starts off. Both fighters are feigning outside of range, aren't landing any strikes they just aren't landing any. They're out of range for each other, so they're throwing, and then all you have to do is back up or move your leg out the way, and you won't get hit. They're 5'4", they're flyweights, 5'4" and 5'7". And then on a takedown, I forget who initiated the takedown. I think Tatsuro Taira initiated the takedown. Sorry, I've been up all fucking day. Tatsuro Taira initiates a takedown. They get stuck in a weird position. Moreno scrambles. He gets in a triangle position. And from the 4-minute mark in the very first fucking round to the horn sound, Brandon Moreno has a triangle on Tatsuro Taira up against the cage that's not deeply in, while Tatsuro Taira is stacked up over the top of him in a nothing situation. That's all I can say. That was the entirety of the first round. Second round, you'll never guess. More fainting out of range. Decent shot landed for Tatsuro Taira, but more fainting out of range. You would have never thought that, though. And Tatsuro Taira shoots a takedown, gets mount, gets the back, gets the body triangle on the back, lands a couple punches, and Moreno's trying to get out. He's trying to squirm around because he's got somebody on his back with a body triangle on his back, like mounted up, landing punches to the side of the head. Mark Smith stops the fight. Why the fuck are we stopping the fight there? Mark Smith, he better hope I don't find any of his social medias, because I will follow him just to flood his shit with despicable comments. Not despicable comments, but with hate comments. Mark Smith is a dumbass. Brandon Moreno is a former champion. He's one of the best flyweights ever. He's one of the best fighters the UFC seen, probably like top 50 ever. And he got no chance to do anything. He got a couple punches landed to the side of his head. Probably like 10 total, not like devastating John Jones versus Alexander Gustafsson type back mount, ground and pound. It was just a couple punches landing to the side of his head, and Mark Smith stepped in and stopped it. I guess it was too much. I guess it was too much for Brandon Moreno to overcome. Good win for Tatsuro Taira. Do I care about him? No. Do I think he might have finished the fight from that position at some point anyway? Maybe. I could say that Brandon Moreno's a good scrambler and he would have gotten out of that, but who knows? Because Mark Smith. Who knows because of Mark Smith? Good win, I guess. I guess we'll see the winner of the co-main event in a fucking interim fight. I told you, man. This shit hurt. This shit hurt me. Man. This shit hurt. Alejandro Pantoja versus Joshua Van for the flyweight title in the co-main event. Listen, man. Prayers for Pantoja. The fight starts out. Pantoja's walking forward like he normally does. They are trading in the pocket. Pantoja, they separate. Pantoja goes for a rear leg, or like a rear high kick on Van. Van catches it and kind of throws Pantoja over the top. And Pantoja lands to break his fall. He lands on his arms, completely dislocates and breaks his arm. I'm not even the biggest Pantoja fan. I'm more of a Joshua Van fan than I am Alejandro Pantoja. I've seen both of my favorite fighters knocked out cold. Cold. I've seen them knocked out cold in the last 2 years of my life. This hurt. This hit like a brick in my heart when I saw Pantoja's arm broke. This hit like there was a brick in my heart. Pantoja is going to be out for the foreseeable future. Joshua Van's fucking celebrating like he knocked him out with a spinning wheel kick in the first second of the fight. I don't blame him just for the heat of the moment, but it just pissed me off because you have retards on Twitter talking about. I mean, he caused that. He knocked him out. He caused that. Some retard that follows me is talking about a win is a win. Van got the KO, and I fucking blocked him. Dumbass. Get the fuck off my Twitter. Yeah, man, Pantoja's arm completely dislocates. He's going to be out for a while. Very sad because he's on one of the craziest runs the champion's ever been on. He's so fucking dominant, and he's looked better and better each fight. I picked him to win, but I don't care about that. I just want him to be. I hope it's not like a break. I hope it's just like a slight dislocate to where he can snap it back in and he doesn't need surgery. You know, he's 35. He's 35. If he needs surgery, he's going to be out for a year and a half. Going to come back 36, 37 at flyweight. Prayers for Pantoja, man. I guess you can do Josh Van versus Tetsuro Taira in Japan or something for an interim fight because Alejandro Pantoja is still the champion. He didn't lose his belt. He's still the champion. Whatever belt Josh Van has is fake. Prayers for Pantoja. I hope his arm's not broken. I hope we can see him back in 2026. I have a feeling. I hope he's okay. I hope he's okay. It's really sad. That shit really that shit gutted me. Like I'm not even a dramatic ass nigga. I don't get emotional. I don't get none of that shit. But as soon as that shit happened, my heart sunk. And then I opened Twitter and it's nothing but idiots just talking about how Van caused that. A thing that happens in every MMA fight ever. Van caused that. Just dumb, man. Why are people so stupid? People are fucking dumb. There's no closing remark. I can't even say good win for Van. It's just like, damn. Fuck. Hey, I'm tired as a bitch. I'm tired, man. Fuck Pantoja. Main event. Peter Yan versus Merab Dvalishvili. Look, man. Peter Yan? Look, man. Peter Yan the fight starts out. Peter Yan immediately on the front foot. Merab is winging shots. He probably threw like 100 shots in the first round. Close to it. Excuse me. Merab's throwing hooks. He's got his arms out there, right? He's throwing hooks, and Peter Yan's got that high, tight guard. He's literally got his guard like this on his face. It's like on his face. Got his hands out here like that. Peter Yan's game is so fucking beautiful. I had retards telling me he wasn't a top 15 striker ever. Dumb idiots. But Peter Yan is measured. He's landing at will against Merab Dvalishvili in the first round. But I gave the first round to Merab. He shot a takedown with like 1 minute and 57 seconds left in the first round. Got it, but didn't do much with it. Yan just gets back up. Merab's doing the thing where he knees the thigh against the cage while they're fighting the body lock. But the one thing Yan was doing, he was elbowing Merab's forearms in that position. And at the end of the round, Merab's like shaking out his forearms. He's like damn, that kind of. Merab didn't look like the Merab like he normally did. I'm not going to lie, he didn't. He did not. He shot 29 takedowns. I think the real number was probably 20 or less. In the first fucking round, they counted Merab shooting 5 takedowns. Like, as soon as he shot his actual first takedown that he got, they counted him shooting 5 takedowns. It's so weird how they judge Merab's takedowns. But I mean, you see he went 2 for 29. That's crazy as fuck. I don't think he shot 29 takedowns. First round ends. I can see how you would give it to Jan, but I gave it to Merab based off damage and then the damage against the cage. Woo. Sorry, fuck. It's 1 a.m. Round 2. Jan is landing great shots round 2. He's doing great work from both positions. He shot a takedown of his own. He's nullifying all of Merab's takedowns. Every time Merab shot, Jan shucking him off, twisting positions. There was a great scramble in this round where Jan shot the takedown. Ended up in like kind of mount-ish. Merab Granby rolls out of it, ends up on top. And then Jan does the same. He rolls and ends up on top. And like, it was just so fucking great to watch. I was like literally jumping up and down in my bed. Like, fuck, this is amazing. Jan's piecing up Merab on the feet, man. He's piecing him up. He's got his nose all bloody, his eyes cut, everything. He's piecing him up on the feet, doing whatever he wants to. 1-1-2, 3-2, body kick, inside low kick, head kicks coming upstairs. Well, those are rounds 3, 4, and 5. But round 2, he pieced up Merab, landed the better shots. A lot of these shots, it says 41 total. A lot of those shots are hitting the guard of Petr Yan because he's got such a high and tight guard. It's so great. It's such a great guard that a lot of the shots that Merab was throwing were they were hitting the guard or they weren't doing as much damage. Round 3, this is the takeover. The takeover. Round 3 for Jan. Fuck, I'm tired. I'm sorry. I've been up for like all fucking day. Round 3. Petr Yan body kick. That's all you need to know. Petr Yan, he's in southpaw. He's defending a couple takedowns. Merab's landing good standing elbows and shit. But Jan's piecing him up, doing everything. He's landing elbows like these type of elbows and throwing like 1-1-2. He's throwing like uppercut, boom. He's like throwing these system of attacks that these strikes that Jan throws are fucking amazing to watch. And he found out when Jan switches to southpaw and Merab is moving away from him. So, orthodox for Merab, southpaw for Jan. Merab is moving this way. Jan is slamming that rear body kick, and it gets a verbal out of Merab. It was the funniest shit ever. I heard that. I was like, "What the fuck is that?" Merab says, "Ah!" Oh my gosh, Jan just 50-45 Merab. He said, "Ah!" He literally got body kicked in the liver and screamed and like held his stomach and like does that thing that he did against Sean O'Malley where he goes on his bike and runs around the octagon, like skipping around the octagon and shit while Jan's trying to track him down. Funny as shit, man. Round 4, Jan's stuffing a bunch of takedowns. Merab's going for like guillotines. He jumped guillotine just to get back up, and then they're fighting for positions. Jan's like looking like he's gonna get tired, but he's still landing at will. Merab's hitting a bunch of the guard. Just complete and utter dominance. Jan's body kicks out the southpaw were fucking great. He was bringing them upstairs, landing with like the foot and landing with the toes. Jan 50-45 Merab. I gave him 49-46. I can 1000% see you giving round 1 to Petr Yan based on damage. He just destroyed Merab Dvalishvili. They need a rematch whenever Merab's ready. Whenever Merab's ready, they need to run the trilogy. They both 50-45 each other. Great win for Petr Yan. I'm tired as fuck. I need to make another video about these new announcements that came out. That'll be quick. But thank y'all for watching. My picks, man. My picks. I went 0-1, 1-1, 2-1, 3-1, 4-1, 5-1. I'm giving myself that. 6-1. 7-1. I didn't do that bad. 7-2. This doesn't count. It was a draw. 7-3. 7-4. This doesn't count. I went 7-5 on the card. This is one of those cards where you weren't gonna get much right. A lot of people weren't gonna get much right. Yeah, Peter Yan is the new bantamweight champion. He beat the bantamweight GOAT. There's no doubt that Merab's the bantamweight GOAT. I don't want to give excuses for him. He was kind of giving excuses at the end. He was like, I want to make entertaining fight for fans, and I don't want to make it boring wrestling, but I don't want to make excuses, but the weight cuts are really hard for me, and I get what he's saying. I don't want to. They're kind of excuses. I can see like fighting 4 times in a year is crazy, and I know that's a toll on your body and all of that. Do I think Merab wins the trilogy? I think Merab is going to win the next fight. For something told me that Merab was off for this, and that's not cope, because I picked Merab to win because everybody picked Merab to win. It was obvious. But Yan is, I would want Peter Yan to win. But if we get fights like that from Merab, fuck it, fine. But I do think Merab's going to win with some time off, some recovery. I think he's going to beat Peter Yan the next fight. I don't think he's going to go 2 for 29 on takedowns or 2 for 20, whatever. I don't think he's going to miss that many takedowns. But the last thing I'm going to say, man, if he didn't have the physical stats, like the cardio and the granite chin and the toughness, man, his skill, Merab's skill is just not good, dude. If he can't just overwhelm you with his physical stats, he's a sitting duck. He's a punching bag. He really is. He really is. But like the video, subscribe. Thank you for watching. Sorry for the yawns and all of that. I'm tired as fuck. It's 1 a.m. I've been up all day. I did this as soon as the card ended. But have a good night. Stay tuned for content for the rest of the week, for the rest of the year. And love y'all, man.